Hello, everybody. Welcome to our first episode together. This is called Meet the Bros, which is quite
The bros.
Come on. I thought it'd be a good surprise for you. Meet the Bros. Come on. You know,
I mean, that's the episode. That's the episode we're doing.
That's the episode we're doing. I mean,
Oh, okay. Meet the bros. Oh, okay.
Distant
Okay,
Brothers
no.
Catch Up, right? So
Yeah.
Bros.
Meet the bros. Okay.
But yeah,
Not bad.
our channel is called Distant Brothers Catch Up. We thought that was good for, I guess, the relationship that we have, which is, Tops is in the US, I'm in the AU, and we have a little bit of history together. It's been a long time. we discussed
Are you
about
about to
this.
propose? You sound like you're about to propose.
You know what's funny? We actually discussed on how long have we known each other. Last time we did a little trial, right? And I still can't remember. So was it eight years?
Yeah. So it's 10 years since we first met. We used to be colleagues in IT, which we're both still in, and yeah, it's been 10 years.
10 years. And then we've probably met each other twice. One
Just twice, like in real life.
in real life, yeah. I mean, we kept a good going relationship since I left the company that we worked together with. Constantly catching up, weekly, monthly sometimes. And then, we decided to do a trip. So that was when I met him first time, which was through the training for that company. And then
Yes.
we planned a trip together, Vietnam.
Yes.
2000.
2022 was the Vietnam trip. And for context, the trip when we first met in person was US in Boston in
22.
No, that's Vietnam, like
Oh,
2014.
true.
2014. And so it's kind of been interesting because, and we'll get into this a bit later. It just felt like because we, as you said, we talk often enough online, and that when I finally was coming to Vietnam, it seemed very seamless. And I realized, man, like this would be the second time ever I'm actually, and I was like, how tall is he? Like, is he like, because I hadn't seen you in a while. I'm like, what? Is he taller than me? My height? Shorter? Because he's Asian? Taller because he just skews, demographically. He's a tall Asian dude. And I was like, man. And I'm also thinking, in Boston, I could spot him out quite easily, but I'm in Vietnam. And no stereotype, but like really,
It was
I've
hard.
never
It was
been to
probably hard.
Asia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been to Asia. And yeah, but it worked out. It worked out.
Yeah. So I guess we'll talk about what makes us click, right? Because
Okay.
we don't see each other that very often, but we managed to continue some sort of, I guess, chemistry as friends, and
Right.
able to click with each other. So for me, it's attributed to the fact that I think, although there is a little bit of age difference, I mean, a little bit of generational, right? Like, I think you're sort of maybe a little bit over my generation, but just a little bit.
Yeah, so technically you're in the millennial squarely, and I'm kind of Gen X squarely. But to your point, I think our unique bent, I think persona-wise, and also culturally, we're both children of immigrants who actually were raised, again, and actually we can get into that later. I think both of us were at least raised partially in our respective ancestral homes, right? You speak,
Yeah, I guess so.
yeah. So I mean, you speak Vietnamese. I speak Yoruba, which is the Nigerian tribe I'm from. I mean, I'm not fluent, but I went to primary school.
Can you? I need to teach you how to say Vietnamese properly, man. That was poor form.
Oh well, don't school me like that, because we can teach our audience as well.
It's Vietnamese.
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 There we go.
Oh, maybe it's my accent.
No, you were like sort of somehow switching the maize, but like made it like, I don't know, squished together or something. Oh,
Yeah, it's the American English. Vietnamese. There we
that's
go.
it. There we go.
Yeah. So okay. So for our audience, this is actually a very good point. So in places not the United States, most people learn British English. So in America, we've kind of bastardized it over the years. And so I learned growing up in primary school in Nigeria, British English. And so when I came back to the US, I had to learn American English. Now you're thinking, well, what's the big difference? I almost failed American English. For example, things like canceled, one L versus two L's,
Oh,
seemingly simple, but till today, sometimes I'll spell color with a U, which is the British
yeah.
English. Whereas American English, there's no U. Anyway, I digress. But thank you, Dan.
But that's definitely you know what, like on the spelling stuff, even right now, right? I still have to use Grammarly because I feel like whatever I write, I just feel like there's that question sometimes like of like the American spelling and the Australian British spelling, and I always get caught up with that stuff as well, right? So color, um, what's some other words with OUR?
Like center.
Yeah, censor, right? Like that.
Yeah, that
really
really
gets
messes
me.
me up. I mean,
So Grammarly, man, like for me, hands down, like everything I do, everything I
you
work.
know what? I probably, because a certain mutual colleague of us, we both reported to at one time, actually pointed that out when it first came out. And I was resistant at first, but I thought, you know what? You know two forms of English and you're still not an expert, so why not? And I was writing some pretty important stuff, so thank you for sharing that as well.
Yeah, it's definitely really good when you're like using to edit stuff. Honestly, it saves my life. But back to our story. So yeah, so I think our energy connects pretty well. Like the level of humor, but also seriousness and like life experience stuff. And look, I know that you're more mature than I am, but I feel like there's some stuff that I do which probably you haven't even experienced. And that's why I think we both have this ability or the experience to share with each other. Um, you know, either on relationships, on food, on culture, all that stuff, right?
Yeah, I think that's a great point because I think from the outside looking in, people are saying like what? How do you guys like? What do you have in common? Like half your head is great, but I think the thing is, I think I talked about this last time. Like I learned this when I first worked. I would say with millennials, some let's see, 20, 25 years ago, and I hadn't before. So I'm in my 30s working with like 20-year olds, like early 20s, and they were so like into the new technology for like digital editing and media production that like nobody my age or older was even interested in hearing about, yet alone seeing, oh, these young people are so motivated, they're killing it in terms of work. And so I had nothing to lose. I was like, okay, what's putty? What's this tool you're using? And I thought it was awesome because they taught me so much stuff. Back in the day of what is it, IRQ, that
Oh,
old school.
IIQ. Yeah, damn.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that.
That is so cool.
And they were all in that, and so I got to really ramp up on all these little tools, and it was great because like their energy, and that's a long way of saying I think part of it is just being around that young energy is awesome.
Mm.
And things that you may be not inclined to do at a certain age, you're kind of like, you know what, that's kind of cool.
And I think that's the thing, right? Like we both have the right head of, why not try it, right? We're both very exploratory. We're very curious people. And we're all up for, like both of us were up for like new ideas, new things,
Yeah,
something
for
different.
sure, for sure,
Which I
for
think that's
sure.
what makes us click, right? Because then I can come with an idea and I'm the one that's mostly the one that comes with the crazy ideas. I'm like, hey, Toby, I got this great idea that's gonna make us rich. And the good thing with you is like, yeah, you hear some really weird stuff, but at least you sort of talk about it and you're like, yeah, look, I can see this working this way, but maybe not this way. And it gives me a lot of feedback to, what I can actually do and what I can't do. And I think it's been a lot in my development. Being friends with you helped me a lot to mature about the way I think and the way I do things. And even at a personal level on relationship advice, I think it's definitely good.
Cool, cool. So I had a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the audience may not know of this, but like we both quit our jobs to do this. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But what do you think? I mean, this is the first episode, so let me not say what do you think. What do you hope folks that are like our three viewers looking at this right now? What do you think? What do you hope they get out of what is to come?
You asking me or the audience?
Well, the three people, so you.
Now, honestly, for me, it's just something that we always been doing. It's nothing new, right? Like the thing that I get different from you and other people is we get on a call and we could talk on for hours, and I literally mean like hours.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point.
And so I was like, why don't we make use of this, make advantage of this? I mean, we could catch up regularly, which is nice, but at the same time, also like get something done. Maybe talk about things, talk about experience, or life, either career, personal, whatever it is, but bring value to people.
Yeah.
It's excuse me, 1 second.
I got it.
Sorry, I muted my recording when I coughed there. So,
no, leave the coffin.
I'll leave the coffin.
Leave the coffin.
All right, I'll leave the coffee next time.
Because people are like, man.
There you
go. Thank you. Because they're like, that's AI.
No. So just for that cough, like I've been sick for 3 weeks.
Oh, that's right. You had the flu. How you holding up?
Man, so I found out that in Australia right now we have the bird flu, we have the COVID, we have something called the RSV. I don't know if that's the word.
Yes, respiratory illness. Something.
Right, and then we also have the common flu A and common flu B right now. So all that is gone around. They've killed like a bunch of chickens. Very hard.
I was gonna say they killed a bunch of people. I was like, damn.
You go to the shops. So remember COVID? You're fighting for toilet papers. So this time you're fighting for eggs. So eggs are highly expensive right now because they destroyed a bunch of eggs, killed a bunch of chickens.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And now there's only a certain area or region that they can get the eggs from because they're safe from the bird flu. All the chickens from Melbourne is basically no.
Okay.
So yeah, it's pretty apocalyptic in terms of food and breakfast at the moment.
Oh wow! So like a plate of ham and eggs is like $40 or something Australian.
Nah, I mean eggs which I used to buy like say a dozen for $4 is now $6.
Well, yeah, we went through that here for a spell. Similar reason actually. There was some avian flu that was jacking up the chickens and whatnot, particularly in Arizona where I am for some reason. But I can send you some eggs. My wife just got I'm serious, because my wife buys in bulk. So I got she bought like what's 48 times 2? 96? Yeah, I got a bunch of eggs, dude.
That's a lot of eggs.
Yeah, so I could
that much eggs in a week.
No, we don't.
That's a lot of eggs.
No, we don't. See, that's like a Nigerian. I'd even say like sub-Saharan African thing because it comes from. No, you know what? I'll even go further. I think it's an immigrant thing because I bet they do this in Vietnam too. Like you have people, let's say they came from the old country. They're in Australia. They had to struggle. Maybe manual labor, but 20 years later they're doing well. They got like 2 Mercedes, a BMW, 7-bedroom house, and they still got like 3 deep freezers full of vermicelli and like meat.
I mean, I can understand meat, but eggs, man, eggs got to be fresh, man. You can't
eggs too, man. You freeze them.
You freeze your eggs?
No, you don't freeze it, but you refrigerate them.
Yeah, but if
your
you refrigerate
refrigerator.
them, it's over like I reckon 2 weeks, right? You have 2 weeks is when I would say the eggs should be fresher.
Oh, sure, sure. But like
But
if you come to
96
my
eggs
house,
though.
well, so two things. I have teenagers, that's one. And two, like the fridge in the house, like the fridge part of the freezer fridge,
Mm,
it's cold enough that it'll take about probably a few days for your ice cream to melt if you put it in there. That's how cold it is.
mm.
But that's another story. That's another story. That's another story.
So yeah, I guess yeah, that's the things that I want out of this one. I mean, what about you? What are you looking to do out of this podcast? I guess.
So when I told, I think my daughter who you met yesterday, my oldest, was like, "Oh wow, you're doing a channel? It's so cool, so awesome." And I'm saying, well, yeah, everybody's having a channel because even though they're like 80 million YouTube channels or videos, I can't remember the metric, why not one more? Because we're just different. But I think the thing that I like about the YouTube medium the most is the commentary and the community around it, right? And to me, that's like can be sometimes the best part of a video, right? So
Mm,
let's say you have a decent video on anything, a news event, a press conference, music video, whatever. Depending on the topic or even the question or the supposition, you can have some pretty nice commentary.
mm,
I listen to a few travel channels and stuff, and like just the stuff that people comment just based on their expertise or experience. You're like, wow, that's good information. And so I'm hoping that maybe we can evolve into something like that,
yeah.
depending on the viewership, the commentary, that people have some great contributions that dovetail for something we may come up with. And it can be in either direction, whether somebody either confirming or validating something we may say, or let's say I misspeak or you misspeak, and someone says, "Well, actually, the flux capacitor," they bring that their real knowledge, and we learned something. So that's what I'm hoping it evolves into.
Cool. So I guess I'll just lay out the format that we're going to be doing, which is we're going to do a few offline video first, because it's probably easier for us to sort of try and build up on how we want to do things and phrase things and all that stuff, right? Of course, not scripted, they're all natural, all organic. But you know, we.
Okay, he said non-scripted. You guys gotta go.
I mean, that's the thing, man. Like, I see a lot of podcasts. It seems pretty scripted, and I find it, too formalized, as per se.
Well, I think we should have a little scripting. Like, dang, I see you have a new plant in the room. Where
Okay,
did you get that?
so
Gus.
funny story about that is, I told my fiance, I was like, oh, we're doing a podcast, and she's like really excited. She's like, oh my god, we're gonna make it really good. She even forced me to go take a shower because you know me, I don't care a lot about my looks, right? So I actually go to the shops and wear my PJs or have my robe on, and I walk around the shop for an hour, and my fiance like,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay,
she's
that's
like,
gone global. Okay.
so
I
she's,
thought I thought we had cornered the market on that in the U.S. Anyway,
oh
continue,
no,
Jay.
man, I love that stuff. But yeah, so she forced me to take a shower. She's like, oh, you can't go online, your hair is all messed up and stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure that Tops is not going to be showering for this. I was like, I don't know.
Au contraire. I actually do my showering at night, so it worked out. You showered, I showered. So
Yeah.
to our three viewers, you're getting very clean professionals today. Very clean.
And then yeah, so she got excited. She started bringing the plants. She said you gotta add a little flavor, make it look nice. And I'm like, all right, fair enough. And then she tried to dim down the light, give it a little mood. I'm like, yeah, that's way too overboard. Let's not do that.
And you start with hey, this is Dangus here on the Saturday morning
Yeah.
hour. I got my plant. I got my low light.
And this is Love Songs Dedication. I reckon I could be a good MC, man. I reckon I reckon I could.
I think I'd pay to hear it. Yeah, and so it's funny that you mentioned that because I think one would think you would have my background and I would have your background. Because your background is kind of like, grown up adult, clean meat, the good, like fake but real but fake plant, just some mechanical thing in the corner by the door, just to balance it out. Me, I got my kid's schedule, I got the bus route,
The
I got
bed's not
like
made.
oh, it's half made. It's half made. I got the Cowboy Bebop poster on the right. I got okay, segue. So there's let me see if I can do this cool. That
What's it say? I can't
little
read it.
picture, it says every man, I gotta turn around now. Every accomplishment starts with a decision to try. So
Makes
every
sense.
accomplishment starts with a decision to try. So that came from my uncle Nigeria's wife when I visited him a couple of years ago. Now, there are people all over that like motivational pictures
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and sayings and stuff. Nobody beats Nigerians with that. Nobody. God is great. It's like biblical, it's like religious, like biblical, like Christian biblical saying. The Lord is your strength. Like if you come to my house, like pick a corner. There's something. It's all my wives. It's great. It's good stuff. I mean, I
Oh,
don't
I
know,
fall
just
for
like
those motivational stuff, man. Like,
like Bible passages. So it's like a thing, and so I don't have one of my own. Like I brought it into the house, right? Because usually my wife will get them, or my mother-in-law, who I love. I love my mother. My mother-in-law is awesome, but I digress. And so I brought this home, and I'm thinking, wow, my wife will be like, well, this is cool. He's kind of joining in. He's bringing, something spiritual um, into the house. And then I put it up, and she was like, what is this? I'm like, oh, my uncle's wife gave it to me. Oh, okay, but you don't usually have those sort of things. I said, well, I said, that's not true. Like, I keep fortune cookies and stuff. Have like spiritual, like, and she gave me one of these African looks that wives do, like, and
man, she
walked
probably
out the
she
room.
probably thought, she's like, what has he done wrong lately? Like, why is he doing this?
So,
But
but like she was like, okay, like she was like, what's the angle? I said, there's no angle, She we got there. She gave us some gifts, and I thought, you know what? I love the artistry of the piece, and the spiritual saying, and it ought to go up.
I think this is a good segue to talk about. So, motivational videos, right? They are, and we've got 8 minutes left, so this is a great way to close. Motivational
Okay.
videos on the internet, I am a sucker for them, right? And
Really?
as there are a lot of people online, right? And
Okay.
the thing about it is, because of the, I guess, mass of motivational videos nowadays, and also those pretend till you're rich until, like, fake it till you make it kind of people, right?
Yeah, gotcha.
Like, it really does affect a lot of people, I reckon, and even myself, where I watch a ton of motivation video, I get really pumped up, I'm really excited, and I'm like, I'm gonna do something, get out there, do it, that kind of thing. And then next day I'm like, oh fuck, I can't bother. and this is the thing, right? Like, I feel like all these motivation videos are good as long as you know how to filter, and if you can actually apply to yourself, right? But I feel like a lot of people these days, they just watch it to make it feel good. It's almost like a drug is per se, right?
Well, that's what it is. I mean, and I chuckle because I was there myself for a long time, and the good thing is that the signal to noise ratio was for me was probably better, but I think that's more of a persona than the motivation itself. So, Who Moved My Cheese? Great book. I bought it and given it away and bought it several times, and applied the stuff. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. that to me was actually a breakthrough book, but not for what I would say 80 to 90% of the people get from it, which is like how to invest in real estate.
Mm.
And people are like, why do you like that? It didn't work. I said, well, I saw it as how to get your mindset of how you think about money, because that's what was killing me. The math is easy, right? You spend less than you make, invest the rest. It's not complicated. But like the mindset is what I was missing.
Mm.
And that's why, because I made great money. Like when I made great money in my late 20s, great money. And I was single. But the mindset wasn't there. So once I got the mindset, it was a beginning of a long road to prosperity. But you're right. I mean, it's like with, YouTube and I mean, it's,
Well, and that's the thing, because like those videos, if let's say you watch it for the purpose of learning, right? It's different. Similar to books, right? Like this why like a lot of people back in the days really learnt a lot and built a lot of character, a lot of personality because they read these books. It really instilled in them.
true.
Nowadays,
True.
it's because of the short attention span of like,
Yes.
man, if the video is more than 30 seconds, I'm closing it, right? There's no patience.
Oh, wait a second. So is anyone going to watch our video?
Who knows? I mean,
Yeah, but valid point. Like the short span, if they don't get that hit
and that's what I
in
mean.
the first
Man.
couple.
Like, it feels like those motivation videos now. It's becoming like a, that shot of adrenaline, right, to your mind to say this is feel good. But then once you watch 10 or 5 of them, then it sort of feels good for that moment, and then it sort of drives down,
Right.
and then you become
and that's how really it's like that dopamine hit for sure.
Yeah, a dopamine hit. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
My brain didn't work.
Well, it's early for you. Like you're in Saturday, I'm in Friday, so like it's confusing you. But to that point, just a quick end cap on that. One of the things I do use those videos for is to remind me of stuff that's actually working that I'm using. Like Jordan Peterson is someone I love to listen to. Like first person I've got like their book in years, like both of his books, his latest books. Helped we had a pandemic, but yeah, I'll every once in a while like re-listen to some of the stuff that he said. I mean, it helped me be like a better parent, like just stuff I just didn't know. But the way he unpackages things. So I think that can be the positive side of that process.
Yeah, I like I said, it's good if you know what you're looking for and you get it. But for people who are just looking for quick wins in life, right? And that's where the pitfall is. It's like those.
Oh, for sure.
They're looking for a quick win, for a motivational kick. It's similar to the whole gym scenario where, you feel motivated by New Year's Eve, but then after a week you don't go ever again, even though you signed for 12 months and you're paying for it.
Yeah, man, that's in Australia too. I thought it was just here in the U.S.
Happened to me 3 times. 3 times.
Okay. Yeah, because there was a time, particularly like the 80s and the 90s, you were like, "Do you have it? Oh, you have a gym? Yeah, the gym membership. I don't go. And you're like, yeah, I don't go either."
I think we'll talk that topic another day, but it's definitely it's definitely the same mentality of that gym versus like the whole online content of motivational stuff.
For sure.
And also there's a lot of like bluffs out there where people are faking things and making it look
they're grifters. Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, they're getting the money, but at what cost to the people who are actually following and believing in them, and then they sort of go down the path, feel shit, feel depressed because they try to follow this person but it didn't work for them.
Yeah, true that. Okay, looks.
Yeah, so we got 2 minutes.
Yep, 2-minute warning, like in football in the
If
US.
anyone's wondering, we have this clock here because we want to basically make sure that we keep it to a time. We don't want to be drifting too much because Tope and I can talk on forever. But for the first episode, we're doing 30 minutes. Possibly we'll drag on later on. First few episodes we'll do offline. We'll upload it to all the shorts and stuff like that to lure the people in to watch us. But after that, we want to sort of move into the online platform, which once we gotta set our animations and gotta have those little sound effects.
Under promise, under promise,
Oh, yeah,
under
true.
promise. None of that Mr. Beast stuff, okay? Like, so that's what you came here looking for. Well, at least not for,
So we gotta have,
Could we get the
we gotta
Till
have
we get
some
the YouTube
music and
plaque.
stuff. We gotta have like little.
Oh yeah, I mean, just oh come on, man. Don't do that. Don't be one of the people like the DJ, like he starts spinning and he cuts it when people are in the groove. Man, we'll talk about it another time too, man. When I used to go to those reggae clubs in my 20s and stuff. Pay the
Actually,
beats.
you know
Yes,
what?
come on now.
I have been to a reggae club and it's
Yeah,
awesome. I
and
love
they
it.
stop.
I love it.
It drives me crazy. And then they have a little advertisement. Oh, I'm gonna cut the beat now. So 3C's Friday. Bring your girl. Bring two. And they bring this back on. They keep spinning. I'm like, dude, just play the song.
And you know
Anyway,
what? Like reggae, Latino, like they know how to dance. Like you go to a white people's. Sorry, I said white people.
copyright
I mean,
strike. We got struck. Our first
um,
video. We got demonetized.
I mean, you go to Australian club and all that stuff.
Okay, Dangus loves white people. He loves everybody. He loves robots. He loves pets. He loves AI. See?
What I was trying to say is,
Look at me. He looks white. So,
all right.
yeah.
What I was trying to say is just the atmosphere is definitely different in a Latino club, reggae club, that kind of stuff, right? Like
Yeah, the different club. Yeah,
that's what I meant.
yeah.
So yeah, so catch us. We're gonna be uploading every week. Are we doing every week? Is that the plan?
Well, you put it out there, so now we gotta
Okay.
hold ourselves to it.
So we're doing every
Yeah,
week.
starting, we're gonna try to put up at least two once a week, and tune in, share with your friends.
Yeah. So if you like us, please follow for the new stuff. Oh shit! Whoa, that's a noise. All right. Oh god. Oh, that's terrible. I did not know that I had an alarm. I did not. So yeah, that's what we'll do, and hopefully in the future, we're gonna have guest speakers. I'll bring, a few of my friends and all that stuff. Oh, just also if you didn't know or not aware, we're both in different part of the world.
We should probably mention that. Yes, so he's Saturday, and I'm Friday night.
Yeah.
So hence the distance and the distance brothers.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll be, because it's online, makes it more convenient to invite other people if they are interested to come and just hang out, chat, that kind of stuff. Include inviting more brothers or sisters. I mean,
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I can get complicated real fast.
But yeah, that's it for the first episode. Hope you liked it. Hope you enjoyed. Please follow. Please subscribe.
Do we want to do that? Like the
I mean,
whole,
look, everyone's doing it, man. You gotta.
Yeah, look, me, you're right. Like, fine. But thank you guys for listening, our 3 viewers for this episode. Thank you so much. Dangus, pleasure to talk with you as always.
As always, and I will catch you on the flip side.
All right, peace.
Bye.